is not a man who sees America as you and I see America.
What do you think about Sarah Palin? When you...
I used to think Michael Palin was the funniest Palin on earth, because the parrot speaks beautifully and kind of says all shucks every now and again, but doesn't really have any understanding of the meaning of the words that it is producing, even though it's producing them very accurately. And the truth is that Sarah Palin is no way good enough. And if you lined up from Europe, left-wingers, centrists, right-wingers, you wouldn't find 10%. You probably wouldn't find 5% who think she's good enough to run the United States. Monty Python could have written this. And I'm sorry, Michael Palin, to say you're not the funniest Palin anymore, but you're not.
I don't think it's changed me at all. I have the same values and convictions and positions and policies. Just a greater appreciation, I think, for what other candidates go through. You know, it's pretty brutal.
Big free-for-all, a big rowdy, normal, as normal a family as one can get, I guess. A big gathering of all, and it's a blast. And we do have traditions. I don't know how unusual they are, though.
Are you concerned about any state programs being on the chopping block?
You know, thankfully, we're in a good position still, fiscally speaking. So we had prepared then, reined in the growth of government then, and we will now, that comes into play at this point. Oh, well, this was neat. I was happy to get to be invited to participate in this. You need a little bit of levity in this job. It's nice to get out and do something to promote a local business. Certainly we'll probably invite criticism for even doing this too, but at least this was fun. 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 At least this was fun.
What's the hardest decision that you've had to make in your life? I don't know. The best decision was about 5 weeks ago, though.
Sarah Palin, she is angry and hurt about the way McCain staffers have been leaking rumors about her, and she took a swipe at the media, too. Take a listen.
Are you sad?
Not sad at all. In fact, energized. I think certainly feeling like it's a little bit of a different level because of the perspective now that I have about what national politics are all about. Credibility in our media, that there is objectivity there so that Americans can trust what is being reported. Media persons, reporters have been absolutely right on, and there has been that fairness and objectivity.
This is an old issue. Why is it coming back up again?
Well, because Sarah Palin just mentioned it the other day, like you're saying. Let's take a look at what she said.
Is someone who sees America as imperfect enough to pal around with terrorists who targeted their own country?
We have a graphic here laying out a few facts about Ayers and Obama. Let me trace you through that. They do live in the same neighborhood. Both worked with the nonprofit Annenberg Challenge on a local school improvement project. And both were board members for a charity. Ayers hosted a campaign event for Obama when Obama was running for state senate. But Obama's campaign says they've had no contact by phone or by email since 2005. Now, the McCain campaign did not respond to CNN's request for elaboration on Palin's use of the word terrorists in plural. I have a verdict for you here. Our verdict on her attack: false. There's no indication that Ayers and Obama are palling around or that they have had an ongoing relationship in the past 3 years. Also, there is nothing to suggest that Ayers is now involved in terrorist activity or that other Obama associates are.
You should run that over and over again for both sides, because you don't know what's real and what's not. And I think our viewers are saying we need to focus, the candidates should be focusing on the issues rather than just, you know, this talk back. Are these real issues or distractions to you?
I was really interested to read in there about Barack Obama's friends from Chicago. Turns out one of his earliest supporters is a man who, according to the New York Times, was a domestic terrorist. Now, this is not a man who sees America as you and I see America. We see America as a force for good in this world. We see an America of exceptionalism. Yes, USA, USA. is someone who sees America as imperfect enough to pal around with terrorists who targeted their own country. This, ladies and gentlemen, has nothing to do with the kind of change that anyone can believe in.
Well, you know, Kira, this is a party for Obama bashers. I have to say that this is not entirely representative of everybody in America. This was organized by 3 different conservative groups. And if you look at some of the signs, Kira, let me introduce you to this guy. Would you come over here with me, please? You know, what is this supposed to mean? What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, he's a fascist. The pirates...
Wait, why do you say he's a fascist? He's the president of the United States.
He's a fascist.
Do you realize how offensive that is?
I think he's a fascist.
Why?
Because he is.
In what way can you say that?
Because the real pirates are in the White House, in the Senate, and in the Congress. We need 1-term limits for all these elected politicians.
Why be so hard on the President of the United States, though, with such an offensive message?
Because he is. He's a fascist.
Okay. All right. So, okay, we've got a fascist. All right.
Can't trust Obama. I have read about him, and he's an Arab. He is not. No.
No, ma'am. He's a decent family man, citizen.
Now, this is not a man who sees America as you and I see America.
This is little Hussein. Little Hussein wanted to see truth and good Americans.
If there are allegations based on questions or comments that I made in debate prep about NAFTA and about the continent versus the country, when we talk about Africa there, then those were taken out of context, and that's cruel, it's mean-spirited, it's immature, it's unprofessional, and those guys are jerks if they came away with it, taking things out of context and then tried to spread something on national news that's not fair and not right.
The very newspaper story Governor Palin cited made clear that Senator Obama is not close to Bill Ayers, much less pals, and that he has strongly condemned the despicable acts Ayers committed 40 years ago when Obama was 8. Barack Obama, 8 years old at the time of these bombings that I mentioned.
And some fear in a local neighborhood after an anti-Obama display is hung from a tree.
It's a story you'll only see on Local 12. The display is at a home on Sims and Hicks Road in Fairfield. And the person who put it there says the message isn't political, it's racist. Sean Lay spoke with a man earlier who isn't shy about his views.
There it is, right above the McCain-Palin sign, a makeshift ghost hanging from a noose. A Barack Obama sign attached upside down, Obama's middle name, Hussein, spray-painted and misspelled above. Mike Lunsford hung the ghost in his yard. He spoke to us off camera saying his views could hurt his employer's business, but he also says make no mistake, he doesn't want an African-American running the country. Lunsford says he believes Barack Obama is not a full-blooded American.
Now, this is not a man who sees America as you and I see America.
Credibility in our media, that there is objectivity there so that Americans can trust what is being reported.
One of his earliest supporters is a man who, according to the New York Times, was a domestic terrorist.
The very newspaper story Governor Palin cited made clear that Senator Obama is not close to Bill Ayers, much less pals,